All right, let's get started on our lesson 12 problem set. Let me zoom in and get my name on this paper. All right. This week, I'm also going to show you how to start annotating over your problem sets digitally, so you can choose whether to do your work virtually or digitally or by pencil paper out of your book. So you can choose the method you prefer, hopefully starting this week. So let's read the directions. And it says choose a reasonable product for each expression. Explain your reasoning in the spaces below using words, pictures, or numbers. So pictures, I'm thinking area model. Numbers, whoops, don't scroll up, down, Miss Briggs. Go back. Numbers, I'm thinking stacking them vertically. And if you really want, you can explain them writing sentences. But I'm going to focus on these last two using either the area model or converting to unit form and stack or multiplying vertically, not stacking. Well, yeah, we're stacking, but I almost said stack and add. That's not right. We're stacking them vertically and we're multiplying them. All right. So I'm going to go back and forth with both models so that people have practice both ways. For the first one, I'm going to do both. So the first way, I'm going to decompose it to tenths. So it's 25 tenths. And we're multiplying that by 4. Well, I know that 4 copies of 25 is 100, but 4 times 5 is 0. Well, 4 times 5 is 20, I should say. We put the 0 down. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 2 more is 10. So we have 100 tenths. Well, 100 tenths, I know that there's only one place behind the decimal, so I know that the decimal goes there. All right, so that was using the vertical method. Let's use area model. So we have 2 ones and 5 tenths. We're going to multiply that by 4. 4 times 2 ones is 8 ones. 4 times 5 tenths is 20 tenths. So 8 plus, well, regrouping, that would be 2.0. Well, that equals 10. Okay, well, they're both 10. Yep, there it is. All right. This time, oops, scroll down too far. I'm just going to use the stacking them vertically method. If you'd like to use the area model, keep using it. I'm going to use it on the next one. So let's convert these all the way down to hundredths. And then we're going to multiply this by 7. We know our unit's going to stay hundredths. Okay, so 7 times 4 is 28. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 2 more is 9. It's really important to know our math facts. 7 times 3 is 21. Well, 21, 2,198 hundredths. I know hundredths has 2 places after the decimal. So this is going to equal 21 and 98 hundredths, which it's right there. Perfect. All right, let's do this next problem. This time I'm going to do it in both ways, but I'm going to start with the area model. So I see how many digits are holding value in this problem. Well, it's just 3 of them, right? There's a 0, so I don't need an area model for that 0 tenths. So I'm going to do 3 different places. I have 6 ones. Again, we can skip the tenths because I know anything times 0 is 0. So it's 2 hundredths. And then 2 thousandths. Okay, and we're multiplying that by 8. 8 times 6 is 48, and we keep our unit 48 ones. 8 times 2 hundredths is 16 hundredths. And then 8 times 2,000 again is 16. And then we're doing thousands. Okay, so 48 plus, well, 1600, so that would be 0.8. 0.016 plus 16,000, 0.016. This method definitely takes a little bit more understanding of where your place values and how to write these numbers in standard form. It's another point I just thought of. So 0.16 and then 0.016. So I need zeros up here in the thousands place. 6,007 hundredths, 1/10, 8 ones, 4 tenths. So 48 and 176. I see it. I'm going to change colors here to circle it. See it there. Let's just try to convert it to all thousands. Stack them and multiply and see if that's nicer. Oops, go back to that. 8 times 2. Oh, let me keep my unit down here. Now I know that thousands has 3 places after the decimal, so I know that I'm going to have to place that back there. 8 times 2 is 16 plus 1 more is 17. 8 times 0 is 0 plus 1 is 1. 8 times 6 is 48. And I said thousands, so I know that this number is going to have the decimal with 3 digits behind it, 48 and 176 thousandths. I really like stacking them vertically with the unit form, the smallest unit. So that's the way I'm going to do it on this. So I'm going to convert 5 and 48 hundredths all the way to, all the way to hundredths. So 548 hundredths. And we're going to multiply that by 9. I'm going to keep the same unit. I already know hundredths has 2 decimals or 2 places after the decimal. So I know where I'm going to be placing my decimal. So 9 times, and then looking at the answers they gave me, it has to be this one, right? It's the only one with 2 decimals after it. Let's find out though. 9 times 8 is 72. That's 72. 9 times 4 is 36 plus 7, which would be 43. Oops, make sure I can read that 4. I knew it was a 4, but I want to make sure you guys know it's a 4. All right, so 9 times 5 is 45 plus 4 more, which would be 49. And like I said, we know that hundredths has 2 decimals, or 2 places after the decimal, so I know that's going to be between the 9 and the 3 then. So our answer is 49 and 32 hundredths. All right, let's see what they got for us on the back of this thing. So Pedro is building a spice rack. So we're looking at number 2. Pedro is building a spice rack with 4 shelves that are 0.55 or 55 hundredths of a meter long. At the hardware store, Pedro finds that he can only buy the shelving in whole meter lengths. Exactly how many meters of shelving does Pedro need? Since he can only buy whole number lengths, how many meters of shelving should he buy? Well, let's first figure out how many meters that he absolutely needs, and then think about what he'll do. So let's take 0.55 or 55 hundredths and convert that into unit form of 55 hundredths. Now let's take that 55 hundredths and multiply it by the 4 shelves he needs. Well, 4 times, and we know our unit's going to stay the same. So let's do 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 5 is 20, so he needs 220 hundredths, or 2.20 meters. So he can only buy it in whole meter lengths. So 1, 2, 3. We know that he needs to buy more than 2 because he needs 0.2 more than 2, or 20 hundredths more than 2. So Pedro needs to buy 3 meters of shelving. Why? Because, come on, where'd my pen tool go? Because he needs 2.20 or 2 20 hundredths of a meters of material. So Pedro needs to buy 3 meters of shelving because he needs 2.2 meters of material. Now I apologize for my sloppy handwriting. So I'm going to type that over here. Pedro, come on. Pedro needs to buy 3 meters of shelving because he needs 2.20 meters of 2.20 meters of material. That Mr. Briggs, this looks terrible. All right. Sorry about that. Let's move on to the third one. I'll read it together. Let's think about it, and then you'll pause and you'll solve it, and we'll get moving. So Marcel rides his bicycle to school and back on Tuesdays and Thursdays. He lives 3.62 or 362 hundredths of a kilometers away from school. Marcel's gym teacher wants to know about how many kilometers he rides in a week. Marcel's math teacher wants to know exactly how many kilometers he bikes in a week. What should he tell each teacher? So we need to estimate and we need to find out the exact. So let's set up the exact one. So for, oh my, Mr. Briggs, you're being really sloppy today. So for the exact one, we're going to do 3.62, or let's convert that to hundreds, so 362 hundredths. And we're going to multiply that by, well, how many days a week? Well, you go to school only on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so that means he's riding twice. But, oops, let's think about that. 2 and back to school. And they're only telling us how far he lives away. So that's 2 and back to school on Tuesday and 2 and back to school on Thursday. So that's actually 4 trips, right? And we know that our answer is going to be in hundreds. So I'm going to leave that set up for you. Now let's think about the estimate. Well, with the estimate, we're still going to be multiplying by 4, but let's round our, it's closer to 3.5 or 4.0. Well, it's 3.6, so that's going to be closer to 3.5. So 3.62 is going to be approximately 3.5. So that would be 30 or 3.50. So that would be 350 hundredths, right? Should have changed color so you don't get confused with that. So this is 350 hundredths times 4. We know our hundredths are coming down. So if you paused and did this on your own, great job. If you just kept working with me, let's just keep moving forward. 4 times, if you paused or just fast forward till you get to the answer. Apologize for telling you that now. But anyways, 4 times 0 is 0. I'm doing the estimate side first. 4 times 5 is 20, so we regroup. 4 times 3 is 12, plus the 2 more is 14. So we have 1,400 hundredths, or 14.00. That's our estimate. So we estimate that we are traveling, or Marcel travels 14 kilometers. Let's see the exact answer. Well, 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 6 is, actually, before we finish solving, if the estimation is lower, smaller, we see that it's smaller, the estimation is smaller than our real number, then our answer means that it should be smaller than our real number. So the exact answer should actually be a little larger than 14 kilometers, and let's see what we get. 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 6 is 24, so we regroup. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 more is 14. So we have 14 and 48 hundredths. So our exact is 14 and 48 hundredths of a kilometer, and our estimation was 14 kilometers. Great job. So we do like to write a statement for these, and I'm going to just put it down here, and we will skip number 4. So you don't have to do number 4. So if you ran out of space like me, use the space down here to write our statement for this. So what should he tell each teacher? Marcel, whoops, let me delete that other stuff. Marcel should tell his math teacher that it is 14.48 kilometers, and he should, oh, let me skip a line. He should tell his PE teacher that it is 14.0 kilometers. It is about, because this is a, and the first one was exactly, so let's actually put that in there. Perfect. All right, so let me just scroll down so you can actually see that again. Move it in the middle. And we're not doing number 4. So great job on today's lesson. Please try the exit ticket, and I'm going to try it just digitally this time. But if you have trouble with it, please do it pencil paper and send it in to me via email or something. All right, nice job.